That's why there's some oil on it. Alright guys, so we just got the blades on the ground, or the spokes here I should say, they're all together. I was, like I said before, I was told if you don't have to pull them out of the hub, don't, because they're seized in there good, so I'm just going to leave them. So I went around and I wire brushed this whole thing, and then I took brake clean to it to dry it off and get that nice spare residue free look. I taped this all off with plastic there. It's not perfect. Get some overspray in the middle here. It's got all grease in there. It don't matter. All oil. So yeah, we're just gonna do a coat of cold galvanizing, and then once that's done, we're gonna go and we're gonna do some of the textured stuff again there, the hammered stuff. It's drying on here right now. It's drying really nice there, as you can see. Kind of got a cool look to it. So once that dries up, we'll get to putting that on the mill. Alright guys, so I just got done painting in the background there. As you can see, I was working on getting that galvanized. Got my pin here. I didn't need, this could have stayed galvanized instead of the textured silver, but I decided to paint it anyways. Anyways, this is looking really good, pretty close to galvanizing. Obviously it's a little bit more shiny and stuff, but it's not just a plain silver. I want that texture, because you know how galvanizing has that texture. So it actually looks pretty good. So it's dry here. There's the odd spot that has a little bit of tack to it where I got a little heavy on the paint, but otherwise, like, it's nice and dry. It says it dries 24 hours. Half hour is when it actually when it dries to the touch. So as long as I'm careful with this, all I gotta do is put this pin through it and I can put it on the mill. So that's what we're gonna do now. So while we're waiting for the paint to dry, I went and installed this. Took a bit to get all the rust out of the middle of it, but now it moves so nice. Like, it bounces nice and everything. That's just what we want. So that's awesome. Alright, so now everything's drying. I got all the linkages put on there. This is drying. It looks super sharp, that silver with the green. I love that. Man, it looks nice. Anyways, over here, we got all of our linkages on. I just put the one nut in there. I gotta adjust that once I get the hub on and everything. But anyways, that's how it works for when you pull in and pull out on this. This hangs down. Can't put it on now because of the stand, but anyways, it slides up and connects in here. Just drilled out 2 new holes in here because they were wore through from being pulled on for so many years. But yeah, everything moves super freely here. Works really good. So yeah, now I sanded this thing and took a wire brush to it, and everything's free here. We're gonna, since it's pretty rusty, it's pretty cool patina, but I mean, it's just getting too far. It's in here, it's just kind of getting that not good rust on it. So I'm just gonna spray that with cold galvanizing again. Or now I brake cleaned it, now it's all clean, cold galvanized, and then we're gonna put that hammered silver on that. Hey guys, so sure as you've seen, we got this all painted now. I just set it back on here just so you could see, and I'm really happy with that. The green and this silver. I mean, it wasn't as textured, galvanized as I thought it was, but I think it's gonna be as good as I want. I'm really liking this with the green. I'm really happy with it. Anyways, we got these in today. Genuine Timkins. They even had trouble finding them at the factory, I was told. So cool to put Timkins back in. These things cost me like 110 or 15 bucks with tax. But I mean, by the looks of the old ones, and I mean, if I'm going to spend $40 on some or $110 and it's going to be up in the air for my whole lifetime, I'm not going to have to pull them down again, hopefully. So by the looks of these old Timkins, that's what I want to put back in, and that's what it was original, so I'm trying to keep it fairly original besides the galvanizing. So anyways, we're gonna drive a race into the front here, into the back, and then we can take our front seal and we can seal it up, because the race won't fit through there. That's why I had to take it back off. So anyways, let's get to driving some bearings in. I'm not going to show you guys, I'm just going to drive them in and then show you after. Alright guys, so we're back in business here. That's all sealed up and everything. We got the races in. The other race here in the back, you can see around it, it's a little black around there. Just a tiny bit. I put some silicone on it because it was just so it was like borderline that it could move a little bit. So anyways, you're not going to fix that casting, so I just put some of that Permatex the right stuff around it, and when that stuff sets up, man, it's in there. Like when I had to knock this back off here, I sealed it with the right stuff, this thing around here, and I had both bolts out, and I was literally had to use a chisel to pry it off. It's like glue. So anyways, that stuff will set up in there nice and we'll be good. So yeah, all of our stuff is good. We can't put that on because of how the tower is here. Anyways, that normally attaches right here, and then when you want your mill out, you pull on that and you see that brake shoe comes up, and then when you come back down, that brake shoe comes down, puts pressure on the mill, and then when you want to open it again, you go like this, and there you go. It doesn't look like much right now, but it goes up about, I don't know, half an inch or so. You can adjust it for more or less on this lever right here. But yeah, anyways, you bring it up and down there. I put grease in there, everything. It moves so nicely with one finger here, up and down, and there we go. Alright, so we're going to start assembly here and see if we can get it on film, and it's going to be quite the thing to put this in by myself, I'm sure, but we'll see what we can do. Alright guys, so it's in there. It was a bit of a pain because I left the brake linkage hooked up and it was hanging down, but I'll learn as I go for the next mills I do in the future. This is the first one, so I just want to film it all and show you guys. Anyways, yeah, the brake works fine here. Nice amount of pressure on it. Pull it down. If I hold this down, there we go. Look at that. Spins gorgeous. I'm just kind of setting the preload on the bearings right now. It seems pretty good. There's a castellated nut that you got to put a cotter key through, and it seems like it's working pretty smooth right now. One off is too loose, another one up is too tight. We're kind of right in the middle, so we're gonna go ahead and put that cotter key through, and then we're gonna drive this. I'm gonna clean up the edges of this cap. We're gonna clean it up and then just drive it in the back of the mill. Alright guys, so you can see that I finished up this thing. I just, you could see that I put all the guts into it, and then I just put the hood on top of it. It looks really sharp, and it works really good. Like, when I spin it here, those bearings spin so freely. Really impressed with it, really happy with it. And if I get back here, and I spin it, we can get our brake to work. There we go. So you can see it grabs nicely. I actually added another in here. I added an extra washer to it, so the spring would have a little bit more play pushing down on it. So just, there was 2 factory and I just added 1 more, so it just had that extra little bit of pad, but you can see it works really good. So happy with that. Anyways, now we're on to the tail vane. So I just disassembled all these. On the here, we're just gonna take some measurements because this is an earlier one that said Beatty Canada rather than the regular Beatty pumper, and I've never actually seen one that said Beatty Canada on it. I'm told that Harvey there has a tail that says Canada on it, and I'm gonna go trace it. He has the original stencils on it still, so I'm gonna go check that out. But in the meantime, we're just gonna measure these letters. As you can see, I just traced them, but if you look close, how I determined that it said Canada, you can see the brush strokes here and the kind of the white there where it went up for each letter. Here you can see the letters. So anyways, we're just I just gave that a quick wire wheel there real quick, or just actually just a brush, and so we're gonna do both sides of that, get it cleaned up, and brake clean it, get it prepped, and then we're gonna spray that with go off with the cold galvanizing compound again, and then we'll go with our Rust-Oleum over top of it. I bought the store out, so hopefully we have enough. Alright guys, so we're back here. This is dry now. A couple splotches on it from the paint dripping, but it doesn't matter, right? Because it's getting painted over. So I still got half a can here. This stuff actually goes on pretty well. I got all that painted, so I'm gonna sand up the tailbone after, but for now we're gonna get a layer of paint on here, and then we're gonna let that dry, flip it over, do the other side, and while we're waiting for that, we'll sand off tailbone and stuff. There's a lot of little nooks and crannies in there that I gotta get to, and once that's done, we can get to painting that too, and gonna paint up the hardware a bit, and we can get to assembling this vane. It's gonna look great, I hope. Alright guys, so sorry, I just took off my mask. Anyways, I shot myself spraying the silver because the past few times I've just showed doing the primer. Anyways, I was dry enough, and it says to recoat within an hour if it's dry. So anyways, I got that all sprayed silver now. It's really coming out nice. The texture on it looks pretty well like galvanizing. And then it's getting cool in here. It's about 16 Celsius because I have the windows open for ventilation, so I brought this over here. This fire isn't going very good, so I just got that sitting. It's just touching right there because there's a piece that goes over there, so it doesn't matter if it dents the paint at all. So anyways, I let it dry for quite a while, and now it's just drying here, so you can see the texture is really nice. It kind of looks like galvanizing, and yeah, it's gonna dry a lot different color than that. It'll dry just like the top of the mill here. You can see how much brighter it is. So, and in my last video there, I said I wasn't gonna paint the back of the brake because I didn't think that it would show. I don't know what I was really thinking anyways. Most of it's covered, but I guess I was thinking a car drum brake or something. So in the meantime, while this stuff's drying, I've went around with just my fingers and I taped off some other stuff. And I've just been dabbing paint on, like where I had to hammer this in here. I dented this up a bit so you can see I have some fresh paint there. And I actually got in behind here and I painted the back of that rotor. And I had some overspray on some of those spokes that I couldn't get out. I had to touch them up because I just couldn't pull them out. So I I couldn't tape that perfect when I was spraying. I got some overspray. So anyways, I just touched that up with green paint. There's tape on there. It's just clear tape. And so that can dry and I'll pull that off. And we're looking good here now. So once this is all dried up, I'm gonna attach everything, and then it's gonna be cleaning up paint because we're not gonna paint these blades for a while. You're gonna see me, I got a lot of them were bent. I've been working on these ones a bit, and I've gotten them pretty curved again. You can see they're not perfect on the edges and stuff, but I don't have the tools here right now, so I might go buy some clamps and stuff to mess around with that. So yeah, you'll see us when this stuff's all dry. We're gonna start assembling everything. All right, so it's dry. It actually is shiny, but the light up there is just so much different because we got the windows right there and there, so you can see that the light's a lot different there. But yeah, and all these splatters, that's all the old galvanizing underneath. That's where the zinc really splattered when they were dipping it or whatever. And but yeah, like the finish I'm really happy with. It's got that textured look to it, and it's hardening up really well, so should be fairly durable. Tailbone's on there, and yeah, in the meantime here we are gonna take all these blades that I got down from the attic now and whatever, start to straighten them all out, and then I'm gonna do the same thing, paint them and stuff, and then we're pretty much just waiting on some parts. I just got to get that buffer from Harvey, and that can go on the vane, and I gotta get this piece welded. My buddy's gonna do it. It cracked right there. I just ground it off there, so that cracked. Ended up getting that piece painted green. Yeah, I think that's pretty well it, guys. So now that everything's dry, as you can see in here, this all dried. It looks really sharp in there now with that brake all green in there. So we can show you how she spins now. Works good. And basically, one other thing is the pin, wherever I set that now, right here. We're either gonna mill a new one or get this one built up. I'm not sure yet, but that's pretty simple to do. And then we can I'm gonna try, before I put any weight on this stand, I'm gonna make one out of angle iron. That one was yeah, not the best. It's fine for the mill right now, and it'd probably be fine for having that tail vane on it, but it adds a lot of weight to it. So I don't really trust that wood for that much weight, but for working on it was perfect, and it was easy to make. So yeah, we'll be back with you guys here for part 5. I'll probably do this in the meantime, paint the blades, because I mean, painting's painting, it's easy. But for part 5, we'll be back. I'll install a buffer on that tailbone. We'll get the blades all on it, get the tail on it, have that piece welded, start installing everything. So it's gonna be a while until I get all that stuff done, so I thought I would just finish off this episode and get it uploaded here so you guys can see how far I've gone so far and what I'm all waiting on. So I imagine this will be a few weeks to get all this stuff done for sure. I'm having trouble finding some paint for these blades, but we'll manage. I'm gonna go get a sandblaster, I think, for my grandpa to try and sandblast off some of the thicker rust on here. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So thanks for watching Beatty Windmill restoration once again, and stay tuned for the next episode. I hope you guys are enjoying it, and I'm super stoked with how the mill is looking so far, with just how it's turning out already. Not even fully assembled, everything is looking so good, and I'm excited to get everything all together and up in there. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and please give the channel a like and a subscribe. If my videos interest you, please click on my channel and check out my other videos.